At Survivor Series 2012, 3 men made their main roster debuts and changed modern wrestling for good. Despite wearing turtlenecks that Steve Jobs himself would have looked at and gone, I'm not sure about that. Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose, and Roman Reigns, collectively known as The Shield, would have a year and a half of dominance before splitting up, all to achieve massive success in their own right. We count 16 different world title reigns between the trio, spanning several years and multiple different companies. Speaking of which, the man now known as Jon Moxley had just won the IWGP World Heavyweight title as we recorded this sucker, so there was no way of us including it here. In this list, we are going to get to the bottom of which reign was the best and which deserves a triple powerbomb through the announce desk. I'm Adam Pachisi from Cultaholic Wrestling, and this is every Shield member's World Championship reign ranked from worst to best. Believe in the ranking. Number 16, Roman Reigns WWE Championship, November 22nd, 2015. After over a year of trying to make Roman Reigns the new tippity-top guy, WWE finally coronated their new golden child, and then had him lose the belt a few minutes later. Reigns had defeated Shield brethren Ambrose in the finals of a tournament to crown a new WWE champion when Mr. Money in the Bank Sheamus turned up to ruin his day. Despite displaying some initial resistance, Reigns was felled by a brogue kick and pinned to end his reign in 5 minutes and 15 seconds. Remember, they made a t-shirt out of it. Not really much to say about a title reign that lasted less time than it takes to walk a big dog. However, Roman isn't the only Shield member to experience this sort of shame. Number 15, Seth Rollins WWE Championship, June 19th, 2016. At Money in the Bank 2016, something truly unexpected happened. And we're not talking about when Titus O'Neil kissed his son on the mouth. Never again. In the show's excellent main event, Seth Rollins defeated Roman Reigns to win his second world championship. And then all hell broke loose. Dean Ambrose, who had won the briefcase earlier in the night, turned up to cash in on his treacherous ex-comrade. Ambrose hit dirty deeds to pin Rollins and win his first world title. This actually meant that all 3 Shield members had held the gold on the same night, which we think is a pretty neat little statistic. Still, not much of a title reign for Seth, which is why it's all the way down here. Number 14, Seth Rollins Universal Championship, August 11th to October 31st, 2019. Speaking of Money in the Bank, Rollins was cashed in on again 3 years later by Brock Lesnar. You know, after he won the briefcase despite not actually being in the match. This led to a rematch for the Universal Championship at SummerSlam, where a heavily bandaged Architect beat the Beast to win back the bright red strap. He would then briefly feud with Braun Strowman before embarking on a truly memorable angle with The Fiend. Memorable doesn't mean good, by the way. This was the storyline involving that Hell in a Cell match, the one that almost single-handedly killed any interest in Bray Wyatt's alter ego. Rollins lost the title to The Fiend in Saudi Arabia, bringing this brief run to a lackluster end. Number 13, Roman Reigns WWE Championship, December 14th, 2015 to January 24th, 2016. After having his celebration ruined by the Big Irishman, Roman Reigns set his sights on Sheamus and regaining the world title. This led to a match at TLC, which was good, but ultimately unsuccessful for our boy. Then, the next night on Raw, a minor miracle occurred. Reigns had a rematch with Sheamus and was actually cheered as a babyface, for realsies. Sadly, whatever otherworldly power got Reigns over that night did not last, and he quickly lost the belt to Triple H at the 2016 Royal Rumble. As impressive as Reigns getting cheered on Raw was, it doesn't make up for what was a pretty unimpressive 6 weeks with the gold. Plus, this was around the time of the Tater Tots promo, which certainly doesn't help things. Number 12, Seth Rollins Universal Championship, April 7th to July 14th, 2019. Before Brock Lesnar beat him using the briefcase he never should have won, Rollins had reigned for 98 days as Universal Champion. He had actually beaten Brock for the strap at WrestleMania 35 in the night's short but sweet opener. He then had a corker of a match with AJ Styles at Money in the Bank to keep his momentum going, and then Baron Corbin showed up. For 3 back-to-back pay-per-views, Rollins defended the title against the power-mad authority figure of Raw and his stupid waistcoat. The matches were all pretty boring, the promos were repetitive and lazy, and things got somehow worse when Becky Lynch and Lacey Evans were thrown into the mix. How can you have that little chemistry with your actual romantic partner? Hey, maybe Brock cashing in wasn't such a bad thing after all. Number 11, Roman Reigns Universal Championship, August 19th to October 22nd, 2018. It's hard to talk about this reign because so much of it is clouded by the circumstances of its ending. Roman Reigns had won his first Universal Championship at SummerSlam 2018, finally beating Brock Lesnar to end the Beast's seemingly unbreakable grip on the belt. This set up Roman's next program with Braun Strowman, leading to their Hell in a Cell match the following month. Unfortunately, this was when Lesnar chose to return and somehow end the match in a no contest. Sadly, we never got a resolution to this story, as Reigns would announce on the October 22nd edition of Raw that his leukemia had returned. He vacated the title and temporarily left the company to receive treatments. Thankfully, Reigns made a full recovery and came back better than ever, but this shocking revelation cut short what could have been a fascinating time on top. Number 10, Roman Reigns WWE Championship, April 3rd to June 19th, 2016. Like Seth Rollins would do 3 years later, Roman Reigns won a world title at WrestleMania and immediately went into a feud with AJ Styles. The Big Dog and the Phenomenal One would have 2 banging matches at Payback and Extreme Rules. Then Seth Rollins made his comeback, leading to their aforementioned stonker at Money in the Bank. All 3 of the major title defenses Reigns had during this time were great, but what drags this run down is its short length, just 77 days, and how it began. Roman won the title from Triple H in the main event of WrestleMania 32, aka the most boring thing to have ever happened in the history of humanity. The 2 men slowly bopped each other for about half an hour as the crowd in Texas either sat on their hands or booed whenever Reigns got on top. Honestly, it was painful. Number 9, Jon Moxley AEW Championship, September 21st to November 19th, 2022. Let's head over to AEW now, where the former Dean Ambrose has been the big man on campus 3 times. After CM Punk decided to go after everything with a pulse at the All Out 2022 media scrum, the company vacated his world title and set up a tournament to find it a new home. The final came down to Jon Moxley and Bryan Danielson, and the ex-Shield man came out victorious to start his record-setting 3rd stint with the belt. Despite only reigning for 59 days, Moxley still found time to defend his prize against Adam Page and Penta, losing approximately 60 pints of blood in the process. He lost the title to MJF at Full Gear after William Regal did William Regal things and turned on him. A short reign, but with good matches and a satisfying conclusion. Number 8, Jon Moxley AEW Championship, June 26th to September 4th, 2022. We are counting Moxley's time as AEW's interim champion here after CM Punk's foot fell off. Seriously, Punk's AEW World title reigns were cursed. The Brawler won the gold at the first Forbidden Door event, beating Hiroshi Tanahashi for the privilege. He then went on a rampage, no, not that one, putting on clinics every week with the likes of Konosuke Takeshita, Brody King, Roosh, and Chris Jericho. He then decisively beat Punk to become the lineal champion before losing to him a week or so later at All Out. And then came the press conference, the explosive comments, the tasty muffins. Moxley did an amazing job at steadying the ship during a difficult period for AEW, proving that he could be relied upon to carry the company should he need to. Number 7, Dean Ambrose WWE Championship, June 19th to September 11th, 2016. We've already talked a bit about Moxley's one and only world title win in WWE, the one that started when he cashed in Money in the Bank on Seth Rollins in 2016. However, what we haven't mentioned is just how disappointing his actual time with the gold was. He retained over Rollins and Reigns at Battleground and was drafted to SmackDown in the revived brand split. He then had a bizarre title defense against Dolph Ziggler at SummerSlam before his reign ended after 84 days at the hands of AJ Styles. Or should that be at the feet of, seeing as Styles punted him in the knob to get the win. Still, that initial moment of Ambrose finally getting one over on Rollins was just so good, so we've decided to put this reign above 2 of his runs in AEW. I should get the comments going. Number 6, 6. Tyler Black Ring of Honor Championship, February 13th to September 11th, 2010. Before he was the Monday Night Messiah, the Authority's pet project, or Mr. Becky Lynch, Seth Rollins was a young prodigy in Ring of Honor by the name of Tyler Black. At the age of just 23, Black defeated Austin Aries at Ring of Honor's 8th anniversary show to win the promotion's World Championship. He would carry the belt for 210 days before dropping it to Roderick Strong on his way to WWE. Black's developmental deal was actually worked into his ROH character as he threatened to take the belt with him to the Fed. This made him a detestable heel, and the moment Strong beat him, even sweeter. A nice long reign, plenty of great matches, and a thrilling conclusion. Overall, this was a great reign from a time where the architect was just a set of blueprints. Number 5. Seth Rollins WWE Championship, March 29th to November 5th, 2015. The heist of the century. The moment when Seth Rollins interrupted the main event of WrestleMania 31, inserted himself into the WWE title match, and pinned Roman Reigns to win the belt in grand fashion. It is easily one of the best Mania endings of all time, and set Rollins up for what would be, on the whole, a pretty good title reign. The early days were a little rough. His first pay-per-view defense against Randy Orton was hardly inspiring, but things got much better as time passed. He had a series of fun bouts with John Cena, an excellent match with Neville on Raw, and was set to face Roman Reigns at Survivor Series before his knee exploded at a house show in Ireland. Still, this was the reign that helped put Rollins on the map, and that initial title win will live on forever. Number 4. Seth Rollins WWE World Heavyweight Championship, May 27th, 2023 to April 7th, 2024. With Roman Reigns defending his undisputed WWE Universal title once in a blue moon, WWE decided to introduce a new world title that would be defended with much greater frequency. The WWE World Heavyweight Championship would be exclusive to the Raw brand, the inaugural champion decided via a 12-man tournament. Rollins prevailed over AJ Styles in the stirring tournament final at Night of Champions 2023. Though it was widely acknowledged as the secondary world title, Seth freaking Rollins did everything he freaking could to make the belt freaking mean something. He had good to great televised title defenses against Damian Priest, Sami Zayn, Jey Uso, Drew McIntyre, Jinder Mahal, and hell, he even went to NXT and gave Bron Breakker a shot at it too. On premium live events, he put it on the line against Finn Balor, Drew McIntyre, and Shinsuke Nakamura in typically hot matches, not to mention plenty of defenses on non-televised shows too. A fighting champion who worked really hard to give the title prestige, Rollins dropped it to McIntyre in a rousing scrap on night 2 of WrestleMania 40. And then Drew immediately lost it to a cashing-in Archer of Infamy as Seth went for a well-earned rest. Number 3. Jon Moxley AEW Championship, February 29th to December 2nd, 2020. At Revolution 2020, Jon Moxley defeated Chris Jericho to become just the second ever AEW World Champion. Mox would keep the title for 277 days, helping to grow the company from ambitious startup to major player. He took on all comers, Mr. Brody Lee, Brian Cage, Darby Allin, Jake Hager, Eddie Kingston. All of them stepped up and were put down. Even the way he dropped the strap was cool, as he was put away by Kenny Omega after interference from then Impact employee Don Callis. This is easily one of the greatest World Championship reigns of the modern era. Oh, it was good, but not quite as good as... Number 2. Roman Reigns Undisputed WWE Universal Championship, April 3rd, 2022 to April 7th, 2024. We have decided to treat everything that came after Roman Reigns unified the WWE and Universal titles at WrestleMania 38 as their own thing. If you disagree, then we would like to see you come up with a better way of sorting this mess out, and then we'll steal your idea. He may have defended the belts less than 10 times since then, but each one of these matches has felt special. Well, maybe not the one against Riddle on SmackDown, but still. Drew McIntyre at Clash at the Castle, Logan Paul in Saudi Arabia, Sami Zayn in Montreal. Many thought that Roman's reign would come to an end in the main event of Night 2 of WrestleMania 39, yet he walked out of the show having defeated Cody Rhodes. Many called it a major blunder at the time, but the American Nightmare's eventual triumph in the main event of Night 2 of WrestleMania WrestleMania 40 ended up feeling just that much sweeter because of it, as the head of the table finally dropped the belt in the most incredible fashion. Number 1, it's him again, Roman Reigns Universal Championship, August 30th, 2020 to April 3rd, 2022. If you look at Roman Reigns' time as Universal Champion between Payback 2020 and WrestleMania 38, you get one of the most unique, varied, and revolutionary title reigns of the last 20 years. Since Reigns beat both Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman for the big blue belt, he has gone from strength to strength. His 2 title defenses against cousin Jey Uso were easily some of the most emotionally charged wrestling matches in recent memory, as he gaslit and manipulated his bloodline brethren into following his cause. Then came his wars with Kevin Owens, the exceptional triple threat at Mania 37, the SummerSlam match with John Cena, all the battles with Brock Lesnar, a truly astonishing body of work. For his career-changing work as Universal Champion, we simply had to take this opportunity to look at Roman Reigns and acknowledge him.